Pretty much, I was born in Bradenton, Florida. Um, single parent, single household. Only my mom. I didn't. My dad was absent for the most part of my life, um, which I understand. You know, he was a baseball player, so he was on the road a lot. But from there, I spent 18 years in Florida, and ended up venturing off to college, where I did my 4 years. I studied criminal justice. I thought that maybe, okay, criminal justice, through criminal justice, I can then help out society or just the world as being a police officer, a probation officer, you name it. Like, I just thought I can help out. And after my 4 years of graduating, it was like, everybody asked me, like, what are you gonna do now? And it was like, I don't know. So there was a big question mark of, you know, who I was and where I was headed. The next thing that I can think of doing was like making money. If I make money, I'd have everything. I'd be able to have a whole bunch of money and be able to live a lavish life, have the girl, have the house, you name it. I'd be able to do whatever I wanted to do, and I'd be happy. I'd be happy. So I took that route. Opportunities presented themselves, and I took that route. And I ended up in this elite organization, trucking company, where I had, I think I was started off at like $25 an hour. I was like 20 at this time. $25 an hour with benefits, and it was easy. I was just driving from one place to another. And there was a lady, there was always somebody in my ear. So there was a friend that came into the frame of my life, and pretty much told me that you're not going to be happy in 20 or 30 years doing that. And I was just like, what do you mean? Like, you know, I got it all. Like, what do you mean? And she was like, you're not going to be happy. And she was like, think about it. I live in Alaska, you know, think about it deeply. I have a place up here. If you want to come up here, you can come up here. And so a big awakening began to shake me as a human being, a soul on this earth, where when the guy that I replaced, not even a month into his retirement, he passed away. And it was like, wow, like, if I don't get another sign, like that's a sign in itself right there. Like, I could work 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and try to make it to retirement, and I may not ever make it. And so from there, I began to question what I was doing and why I was doing it. And so I left everything. I left that plus job. I went to Homer, Alaska. I spent 2 months there. It really allowed me to clear my head to see what it is that I wanted to do in life. And, you know, like, the world pulls you more than like the spiritual. And so, like, more of the world was pulling me while I was in Alaska, trying to clear my head and figure out what it is that I wanted to do that involved more so of purpose. So I had the oil field calling me while I was in Alaska, and they were like, yo, you can come down here and make $1,800 to $2,500 a week. You get paid every week. And so that's what I did. I left a job to go to Alaska to leave everything and got pulled back into it. And so that right there began a series of events of leading me back to where I am now as far as being in the AmeriCorps and being in Alaska. So while I was in Midland, Texas, was making money, I had a girl. I was traveling back and forth from state to state. I was going to California. I was in the Redwood National Parks. I was in Nevada. I just, at a certain point, it became like not enough, and just wasn't happy. That friend that was in my ear prior to me leaving my first job continued to stay by my side. And she told me, she said, you're not gonna be happy in 20 years doing that. You're not gonna be happy in 20, 30 years doing what you're doing. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I got it all, right? I got it all. Here it is. I got a girl. I'm traveling across the country. What else? What are you talking about? And through another phase of reflecting and almost losing my life in the process of driving a semi truck only for money in the oil field. And when I almost lost my life, the only thing I could think about as the truck was flipping was the last text I sent my mom, the last text I sent my friends, and how would they feel once they find out that I'm no longer here on this earth. And just I thought about everything that I had done before the actual incident of losing my life, and none of it mattered. Like after I survived it, there was two guys that came along and helped me out of the truck. Thankfully, it didn't blow up. It was still running, and these two guys pulled me out. We got safely away from it. At that point, nothing else mattered. For a week, I was in shock. I was contemplating on leaving the oil field industry, the big money making industry, and going to a Buddhist temple where I was just going to be a monk for the rest of my life. Just leave society altogether and just go off into the mountains. And that was another turning point. That was another wake-up call for me, that there was more to life than being, selfishly serving yourself. And always in my ear was that friend was, in 20 years, you're not gonna like what you're doing. And so what ended up happening was I got afraid. I was afraid. My logical mind was against my compassionate mind. I gave into my logical side where it was more like, what if I don't have the money to get me from this place to that place? And so I gave in to more the logical, selfish side of me. And I returned to the oil field and more transpired where I got caught up into greed. I got caught up into the atmosphere of greed, I guess you would say. From there, I had decided that enough was enough. Energetically, mentally, physically, I was drained. And if I had continued, I was pretty much out of here, So there was a turning point where I said, I'm leaving the oil field. I always wanted to travel and go over the road and see part of the country. I had never had the opportunity to do that other than as a child. I traveled with my grandmother and my grandfather, and we go different places, but to see the whole country. If you're gonna drive a truck, why not drive the truck across the country? And instead of doing it for money, you're actually doing it because you want to see different things and expand your mind and your horizons. So that's what I did. I went over the road, and let me tell you, I saw the whole East Coast in 2 weeks. And it was like, once I see something once and I can see it again, it's like I don't want to continue to see it a third time. It's like, all right, I've seen it already. So I saw the East Coast. I was in the Midwest for 8 years. And I saw pretty much the West Coast. From there, I ended up deciding there needed to be something more. And so that friend that was in my ear, by my side the whole time, said that you lost your purpose, you lost meaning. And so her suggestion was, in order to find that, you should go off and selfishly serve somewhere. And after having seen pretty much all of the states, it was like, well, where do I go? And I had already been to Alaska, and it was like, well, if I go any place to go work on me or find out who I am, it's gotta be Alaska. And from there, we saw Sitka, Alaska as one of the AmeriCorps positions. And right away, when we saw the picture, it was, we saw a guy sitting on the top of a mountain. And right away, I was like, that's me right there. That's me sitting on top of the mountain right there. So right away, we knew that Sitka, Alaska was the place for me, my next step. And this is where I am today. So it's been a process being here because I had to give in to being a man, being macho, you're strong. As being a man, you're strong. You're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to get help. You're supposed to do it all for yourself. And coming here was more you don't need to do it for yourself. We can help you. And so I got counseling. We were just able to listen. I was a complete wreck, energetically, mentally, physically. I was drained. Like I said, I had a mental breakdown in the midst of all of that. I spoke about my childhood traumas. I only grew up in a single-parent home, and the absence of my father and my mom being there, primarily trying to take care of me through working doubles and triples. But, I'm at a spot now where I realized that she was trying to provide. and my dad wasn't there. And through that, she showed a lot of aggression towards me. I was beat as a child, and I don't think she realized that that affected my relationships, that affected my academics, and I didn't realize it at the time either. You know, not until later on that I was able to go within myself and have someone just like show me through slavery. You know, trauma gets passed down through DNA. Not a lot of people know that they are contributing or furthering the trauma because it's subconsciously happening. And so through that, I was able to forgive my mom. A lot of what I was doing was because I was trying to fulfill my mom's image. She had this painting of how she saw me. For a long time, I tried to pick up the brush and, like, you know, add to her painting, add my image of how I saw myself within her own painting. And eventually it became a conflict because it was like, okay, that's my mom's painting and this is mine as well, but it's just supposed to be me. And when I realized that, I stopped painting altogether and I tried to find myself. And what I realized was I was playing baseball because of my dad. And I went to school because of my mom to make them happy. But because of that, I wasn't happy. I hadn't found that peace that I was looking for. And so when I got to that point, my mom picked up on it and she was just like kind of shocked, you know, why I wasn't pursuing a money career, house and wife and just the normal things that we see, you know, why I wasn't pursuing these things. And there was a glow. I was happy. I was like more upbeat. I was just more at peace. She then started reflecting on her own life and her own job and what she was doing. And through that, she ended up telling me, like, you know, if it wasn't for retirement, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And it was like, Mom, like, that's what I was trying to tell you years back. Like, but now because of it, we have a better relationship and there's more of a bond there. I can communicate with her now. You know, she doesn't lash out at me because she's trying to get me to be something that I'm not. And because of that, we can have we can bring ourselves, our true selves together, and it makes an amazing experience. Like everything here is just has been like divinely put into place. Even working with the kids, working with the youth at the school, it shows me a lot of my youthful self, what I experienced, because they also are dealing with traumas. It brings this whole process full circle, especially knowing that they haven't been born into favorable circumstances, like, because they're looking for that healing, they're looking for that light. And having gone through my own healing process and having found that inner peace, it makes this more beautiful, this process more beautiful. Being a janitor as well, being a janitor at nighttime, clean the same school that I volunteer in, it's taught me a lot. It's taught me that no matter how many messes that anyone makes, it's important for us to clean it up. Because if no one cleans it up, then the mess is gonna continue to just pile and get, you know, and the mess I see is more so of the traumas. The person who comes to clean it up is the one who have also made the mess, but have decided to clean up their own mess and then clean up others. That's what being a janitor role has taught me at night. It's a beautiful process. It's fitting that opportunities, just like opportunities of money presented themselves to me when I was seeking that, now also opportunities of service to others are presenting themselves to me more so than the money opportunities, because it's not really about that. I'm wholeheartedly taking those opportunities and moving forward. I felt the call to serve others in the midst of selfishly serving myself. Now that I've listened to it, I feel so much freer. I feel lighter. That in turn helps those around me. I've been able to be a positive force within the community of Sitka, Alaska, and I can take this wherever I go. because I've been able to forgive myself and to forgive others and forgive the world. I'm thankful for everyone who's been a part of this journey. If you feel that call, if you feel that nudge, is there for a reason. The cosmos is yours. I can't wait to see what this journey brings moving forward.